Raxi looking clear so far, but is it clear enough to try and overturn the deficit in the first two sectors and beat Crisis at the top of the times? Can he beat his rival for the championship for pole position here in Monza? The Tifosi are going to be able to set. Yes, they are, as he sets a 1:18.377. The Aston Martin in the British-made car sets provisional pole. Can Funderino do anything about it? He's actually just under 2 tenths improving. This could be huge from Funderino to the line. Can he set pole position to beat out Raxi so far? He absolutely can. At 18.2.99. Crazy lap time is over a 10th clear of Raxi as Casper puts it in P4 with a huge lap time from himself on debut. JTK to line puts it behind his teammate Phoenix. Can he improve in the final sector on his return to fzrracing? Hasn't raced in a few weeks now, but the McLaren is going to come into the pit lane. No, he's not. He's going to go right to the line, and it's going to be an improvement, but only a 100th of a second. Ben Huskins in P6, Voices Luber in P7, Icky Robbo in P8, McDonas in P9, and Luberman and Nenchev rounds out that top 10. Here we go then. Chris is on pole, 9 races without a Grand Prix win. He's went the whole season without winning. Is it his chance here at Monza? It's lights out and away we go. He does get away well ahead of Raxi right in behind. Who's going to lead as we head on the route down to turn 1? As lovely job is side by side between the two Aston Martins. They're going to come out right ahead of each other. JTK and Raxi still side by side. Can they come out on top? It's Crisis who's flew ahead. JTK's got past Raxi in behind, and Casper settling for P4, just having to capitalise on the Aston Martin's mistakes. But Phoenix in P5, Voice Luber in P6, Ben Huskins in P7, McDonas in P8, and Liam Doxey and Nenchev, as Liam's made up a few positions to get into the top 10. But JTK has a crucial move, especially from championship perspective. It's Funderino who's led that first lap, but here comes JTK. He's only made a place on Raxi. He now makes up a place on Crisis, on Funderino, as he heads into the breaking point well ahead. The Aston Martin leads, and it's the unexpected Aston Martin that we thought would lead on to lap 2. In behind, it's all sorts of carnage and chaos behind. I tell you that for free, as on the exit of these guys, I think it's Exotic and Kev the Slice both going side by side, and I think Exotic might just come out ahead of this one, as the Ferrari of Kev the Slice still fighting back as we head into the De La Roja chicane. Late on the brakes for Kev the Slice. Who's going to come out on top? It's a big dive as he has to go off the track. Does Exotic and comes back ahead of Kev the Slice. On behind, that's Phoenix getting very, very close to the back of debutant Casper Solhammer. Don't want to mispronounce that, but here we go on the exit in that McLaren. Who's got the best straight line speed with that DRS? We're going to find out in a few moments time, as Phoenix absolutely flies through on the outside line, as there's all sorts of lag spikes I'm getting here, as this is far from ideal. But JTK, Funderino and Raxi, our top 3 still, with JTK taking the lead of the race from Funderino, swapping positions in that DRS and on the long route past the Curva Grande and up to the De La Roja chicane. It's going to be JTK who leads it. Side by side behind, it's Casper and Voices Luber still going side by side the De La Roja chicane, a bit like Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris on lap 1 of last year's Grand Prix. But this time Casper has to opt to stay behind, as I think he is on the medium compound side, just suffering for race pace so far. Look at the pressure he's already put under. Funderino, he's trying to defend from Raxi as well on the entry or to Parabolica side by side, as Funderino already making that move on JTK. He's going to get that rear wing open. He's going to be surely ahead, miles ahead, by any chance we get to the corner. There goes Raxi though, past his teammate as well. JTK is going to go side by side into turn 1, as now under pressure is Voices Luber. He's putting the pressure on Raxi as he has to slot in behind JTK, as there's all sorts going on. But JTK and Raxi still trying to battle this one out on the long right hander of Curva Grande. Funderino might have to get involved as well if Raxi tries to go for a move on him, as it's still side by side between the two Aston Martins. It's now side by side with JTK and Funderino, who's had to force into a move on the exit of the De La Roja chicane. It's a switchback from Raxi. It's a phenomenal switchback from Raxi, and that is exactly how you do it. JTK pushed him wide, and through goes the Aston Martin. That was fantastically judged from the championship lead, and they're the type of moves you have to be making here at Monza to make an instant impact. That is beautiful from the Aston Martin, who takes not just JTK's place but Funderino's as well. and takes that race lead. Huge and tremendous lap so far. But there goes Raxi on the straight, and there goes Funderino. He's making the move on JTK as well before the Ascari section, as that might just be so important for Funderino as well to get through into P2. P2's a bit of a sweet spot in the DRS train, but yeah, in a bit of a rush it seemed for them to get through. JTK didn't really put up too much of a fight, or maybe took him by surprise, but on the straight again, as we head on to the Retafilo straight, the start finish straight, the pit straight, whatever you want to call it. McDonald's is coming in for another pit stop. There's still 17 laps to go, so he'll be going for the harder compounded tyres. There goes JTK on Funderino in behind Raxi, and he allows Raxi just to stay in that race lead. JTK back in P2 as we head down to Parabolica, but 4.5 temps, now over 5 temps. Is anyone going to call it into the pit lane? 16 laps now remain, as I think a bit of a different line from the Aston Martin. He's calling it into the pit lane. So it's the Alpine! As I think that was a spin into the pit lane from JTK. Maybe going too slowly. Caught out from the back of Funderino, but he's going to be set back to the back of this pack. As Ben Huskins have got a 10-second time penalty for a severe collision with Liam Doherty. That was similar to the penalty we saw from Atom. So we'll have to see what happened after the Grand Prix. But severe collision with JTK and Funderino. As Funderino, I think, went into the back of JTK, or maybe JTK misjudged the pit lane and spun by himself after braking too late. JTK demoted down to P6. Exotic, Guy Freeleg still yet to pit, up in P2 and P3, but Raxi leading the Grand Prix. Can these guys do the undercuts to try and close into the Aston Martin or get past the Aston Martin? We'll find out when he comes into the pit lane. Here he is out front, our championship leader, our race leader. And it's been fierce between him, JTK and Funderino all race long. But is it Funderino to take as JTK? He's already gone for that move on Funderino, as Voigt also has. So has he made a mistake already? As people say diamonds are made under pressure, I don't think it has been that case for Funderino. Might have made a mistake to let JTK and Voigt through. But Raxi out front, we'll see him come into the pit lane surely at the end of this lap. He hasn't, he's opted to go for another lap. Oh wait, he's on the hard compounded tyre. Raxi is on the harder compounded tyre, so he's going longer. Gonna get undercut by these guys on the fresher, harder compounded tyres, but will have the better tyres at the end of the race. Interesting strategy seen from our championship leader. JTK is going for a move on Voigt. Can... Oh, is that guy there? Who is that? That's Funderino going for the move as well. He opted for it, but in front, that's what I meant. Guy Freeleg, he's been massively caught up by this pack as well. He's already under pressure. JTK is going to fly through. Voigt is going to fly through. So is Funderino's just letting him through. Here's Guy Freeleg with followed Delavoge chicane. Smart decision. He's letting the full pack through as well. 9.2 clear Exotic, but only 21 seconds clear of JTK, and when he comes into pit, that gap will be, I mean, he's already stayed out another lap, so that's going to be at least another second gain from this pack as well. So yeah, this is interesting. Can Nenchev and McDonagh get through as well? It'll be close when he comes out of the pit lane, does Raxi in the Aston Martin. But here we go then, on the lap once again, on the main straight once again, JTK, then Funderino, who made that move on Voigt, and Funderino closing in on JTK. What's Funderino's plans? What's he going to try and do to win this Grand Prix on the harder compounded tyres? It's rare that we see Raxi going for a different strategy. Casper has retired in the pit lane. Unfortunate debut for him. Is Raxi going to come into pit on this lap? The gap at 18 seconds to the guys up front. Is he going to call it? He finally is. So here we go. We'll ride on board, see where he comes out. And is that going to promote JTK and Funderino, our two battlers for the race lead, to fly through by an absolute country mile? We'll see them come around the final Parabolica. They're going to come out a mile ahead as he's only just got into that pit box, as Exotic into pit as well. But JTK flying around the final corner is already on the exit. Is Raxi slowly approaching, but the race leader's going through, and when can he put his foot down? He's coming behind McDonagh, Ben and Icky, Robbo and Nenchev. Are they going to get him as well? I think it's going to be too far behind, so he's finding that gap with Nenchev and Icky Robbo. That just might allow him to fight these guys ahead. But the race is now on. Raxi in P8, Funderino in P1. Our two championship battlers. This is a crazy battle as we head into the final 8 laps of racing. Who can take this one? Is it Funderino's? Is it JTK's? Can Voigt pull out a miracle Or can Raxi pull out the ultimate miracle, closing in 3 seconds to the back of the train, then closing even more, which the gap is 5 seconds. He's got to close 5 seconds and get through the traffic to gap and close into our race leaders today. McDonald's and Ben Huskins are going to be the first ones to suffer from Raxi. The long run down to Parabolica. Can he deploy a bit of battery to get through, as he's already trying to pull out from that slipstream and fly through? It's going down the inside of Liam Doherty as well. It's going to be a double move for Raxi. It's down the inside of Parabolica. That's just exactly what he needed. And he's already up into P5 and behind Phoenix, behind Voiters Luva and Funderino and JTK. But can he still make it to the top? And that is the question that everyone will be thinking. But there's still quite a few laps to go. 3 to be exact, as that's the Mercedes of Gary Freeleg who's letting everybody through. As long as he's ahead of Raxi, it's good for him in the championship, and maybe taking that championship lead back means 7-point gap between himself and Raxi to be level on points at the end of this Grand Prix. Raxi going round the outside of Phoenix in to the Ascari section. He's pulled ahead of Phoenix into the Ascari section. 3 laps to go. Is into P4. So far, so good for the Aston Martin. Is now already on the back of Voiters Luva. The gap a 10.5 as we go into Parabolica. There goes JTK. There goes Funderino. And here comes Voiters Luva and Raxi onto the main straight on the route down to the first bus stop chicane. As who's going to take this one into turn number 1, as I think Voiters have been pulled along. So is Funderino. He's been pulled along into the race lead ahead of JTK. But there's Raxi in P4 on the fresher medium tyres, on the better medium tyres. As what are they on now? 6 lap hold. So they will start fading away in a few laps time. Then Raxi in that top 4. Raxi, the tyre offset. Can he make it work on the exit of Parabolica, round the outside of Voiters Luva this time around? He's now been set sail into that top 3. It's still side by side between the Ferrari and the Aston Martin. Can the Ferrari try and still fend him off on the older, harder compounded tyres? But here we go into turn number 1. Raxi in P3 now. Is he going to pull ahead of Voiters Luva? It's still side by side into turn 1, round turn number 2. And on the exit, who's got the better grip? It's still a drag race around Curva Grande. JTK, Chrissys Pilacoris, then Voiters Luva, who does pull ahead, but into the Della Rocha chicane. Is he going to try and make a move once again? Raxi getting a bit desperate to be set sail on the front 2. It's a penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Voiters Luva fending off Raxi, which I would not expect on the younger medium compounder tyres. But JTK leads the Grand Prix on the penultimate lap to Funderino in P2. Then it's raining on the final lap as well. Interesting, the rain knew it were coming, but still, on the final 2 laps, I don't think it's going to affect the grip too much, but any sort of mistakes, that could be costly for championship points. JTK, Funderino, Voiters Luva and Raxi all going to be struggling with less grip on a kind of damp track now. As we head round Parabolica for the penultimate time of Grand Prix racing. It's JTK, it's Funderino, it's Voiters Luva, then it's Raxi. Who can take this one? DRS wide open. Funderino surely going to fly through into the bus stop chicane. As here we go. With that DRS wide open, JTK trying to deploy any sort of battery he's got to try and stay ahead, but so far it's going to be Funderino who pulls ahead. There's still going to be one more DRS zone to try and deny him of this race win. On the exit, Funderino getting that exit crucially to stay ahead, but I'm sure into the Della Rocha chicane, can he try and pull ahead? Can JTK do anything to stop Funderino from getting his first win in 9 races since season 10, round 12 in Singapore? That was the last time Chrissys won a Grand Prix. We're here, round 7 of the next season. Funderino, Phoenix goes off the track and into the wall. That's not great for him. He's down to P7 and got huge wing damage and now out of any sort of fight with anybody else. It's getting very damp out there on the racetrack. As Funderino, as JTK has a bit of a moment as well on the exit of Les Mode 2. It's getting very damp out there, but can JTK try and pull ahead of Funderino? He has to stay behind this time around into the Ascari section. It's still going to be Funderino who's going to be mighty around Monza. Is he going to be the king of Italy? DRS has now been disabled. It's not going to matter anyway. We've got past all the DRS zones. Funderino, JTK and Voiters Luva. Anybody going to go for a move into Parabolica? I don't think they are. So heading very, very very slowly around the final corner. Voices Luba has gone right deep, and Raxi comes around the outside and takes P3, but it's going to be Thunderino for the first time in 9 races, and the first time this season, who's going to take that race win to JTK in P2 and Raxi in P3. It's Thunderino, who's now at the top of the championship with his first race win this season. Crazy stuff. He's led most of the championship, but still, this is the first time he's stood on that top step here in season 11, round 7.